All right. Hello. Pop on and say hello if you're there. I just want to see that my group, that my comments are working. I can see we've got a couple of people watching. I did go live a little bit early just so I could set myself up. So apologies if you were the one or two people that were watching early. Oh, hello, Joanne. Thank you. How are you? All right. So tonight I thought we would play with some stamps and some magicals. And so I will go through what I've got prepared. So if you want to play along, you can play along with me. Hi, Louie. How are you, lovely? Oh, that's good to hear, Joanne. All right. So I'll just give it a couple of minutes, but I'll go through what I've got. So I'm going to make some card fronts today. And I've got some Canson, I think that's how you say it, watercolor card stock that Nat sells in a pack. Hi, Tina. How are you, lovely? And I've cut those into two different sizes, so I'm going to use those as my card fronts. And then I've got some bits of scrap and just some white cardstock that I'm going to use for my cards. All right, I'm just letting a few people jump on. Oh, who gave me an angry face? What's going on? Did my system freeze? No, I can still see myself moving. I'm good, Tina. I'm very good, thank you. I'm 18 days away from a holiday, so I'm eager to get through the next 18 days. Hi, Tegan. Hi, Diane. Thank you for joining me. All right, so we are going to play. I got a new stamp set today. So I thought, and it's one of Nat's older stamp sets. It's called It's a Good Day. And I realised I didn't have it in my stash, and I love these stamps. They're fantastic. So I thought I would play with this stamp today, and I'm going to play with the Just Be Kind. I'm going to play with some magicals, some stencils. Hi, Robin. And I'm also going to play with some of these Vicky Bouton glaze. I've had this for a little while, and I've had the gold one in the past that Vicky bought out, or actually I've still got the gold one. That's no longer available anymore. So I've had this blue one, and I have to say I don't use it as much as I use the gold. The gold I used a lot for splatters. But this one, I've started using it a bit more because it gives a bit of a bluey pearl splatter. Oh, no, nothing, Tina. They've just gone radio silence on me. So I'm going on a little holiday up north, not in Queensland, but I'm getting close. I'm going to Coffs Harbour with my sister and her family, so that will be nice. So I thought I would play with this in a few different ways. Now, what I've also got out is my magicals. I thought it was time I got some magicals out. Now, I've picked a range of different colours. Now, hi, Naomi. I have frozen on my screen, so I'm assuming it's just my system. If Tegan, you can let me know, or anyone can let me know if I've frozen on yours. I'll just refresh myself. This really hates me, this new thing. I think it's because I make my screen so big and it covers the whole screen, and because it's an app for the internet, not the actual internet, it just kills me. So now I can't see you at all. Anyway, I have got some, while I'm just regathering that, I've got some magicals out. Now, these are from different sets, and what I love about magicals is you can pick and choose what you want to use from the different sets to suit what you're doing. So I have got a couple from the Under the Sea sets, and I think they're all, no, they're from different. So I've got Yellow Tang Yellow, which is from the Under the Sea set number 2, and the Jellyfish Sting Pink is also from that set. I've also got the Parrotfish Purple from the first set and the Sea Turtle Teal from the first set. And I've also got Nat's set out. Now I'm just scrolling down and clicking on myself, and I'm moving again. So that's good. All right, we'll just wait for that to catch up and I'm good. So from Nat's set, which is one of my favourite sets, and these are flat magicals. Oh, good. It was just me, Tegan. Excellent. Hi, Michelle. All right, I'll move my mouse out the way. So Nat's set, if you haven't seen them before, is Don't Overthink It Orange, Trust the Process Red, and Just Be Kind Cobalt. And there's 2 other colours, but I wanted a bit of a rainbow, and I'll show you why I'm using a rainbow later. So if you haven't seen magicals before, I will go through these soon. Now, thank you for joining me. If I know we've got a lot of new people on the page lately, so if you haven't met me before, I'm Naomi, and I'm one of the brand ambassadors for Nellie Mae Scrapbooking. And of course, the other 2 are the lovely Tegan Graham and the lovely Jackie Hay. So if you haven't already joined our community, creative community, jump online on Facebook to the creative community and ask to join. And also, we are also on Instagram as well. I'm going to move this out of the way because it does have a glare because I've laminated my sign. All right, let's have a little play. So I have got 2 different sizes here. Now, when I'm making card fronts, and I did notice that some people, so if I'm going through the basics for you, just go with me because there are some by 4. Hi Susan, welcome. So what I like to do, because I'm going to put this on the front of a card, it's going to be a card front, and I will show you how I do that towards the end, is I like to cut it a little bit smaller. So this one I've cut a 1/4 of an inch smaller, so it's a 1/4 of an inch shorter than 4, so it's 3 3/4 inches across there, and 5 3/4 inches long. This one I've done slightly smaller again, and it is 3.5 inches by 5.5 inches. Sometimes I completely forget to do that, and I literally cut them 6 by 4, and then when they're dry, I just trim them off, which I often don't realize that I need to trim them off until I folded my piece of paper and stuck it on front and realized I have no border. All right, so what I'm going to do now, this is watercolor cardstock, and this is Canson watercolor cardstock. So it's sold in a paper pad of 30, and it's probably one of the best watercolor cardstocks I've used. Oh, hello, Karen. You're here for your evening art therapy session. Well, I don't know if I would make anyone worse or better. Anyway, so this is watercolor cardstock, and the reason I've got this out is because I'm going to use Magicals, Lindy's Magicals. And of course, if you don't know, they are water-based. So let me start. And what I'm going to start first with is I'm going to use this beautiful stamp. Now, this is It's a Good Day stamp. When you receive a Natalie Mae stamp, they come in a package like this, and it's one big block. What you need to do is cut it up. What I like to do, and these are, I've stamped on the back here what they are. Some of them are upside down. And the reason that they're upside down is because you can't read what they say from this side. So what I like to do is write what it is on the back with an arrow pointing to which way it goes up. Just a little tip. I don't keep mine in this, but I forgot to order the packaging it goes in. But this one Here's one I've prepared earlier. So Nat sells these little beautiful little cases for $4.95. Fantastic, because I am still trying to find the best solution to store my stamps. My Natalie May stamps are the most organised stamps I have. Hello, Miss Susan Bellamy. Other stamps that I've got in, let me show you, are still sitting like this because I don't know where I'm going to store them and what I'm going to do with them. So thank you, Tegan. Oh, look at you, Link Ninjaing. So this is one of my other favourite stamps, and I love the quotes for it. But I also love this wheel, and this is how you can store them. They actually stick, oh, except for that one. They actually stick to the back. So, and it's perfect size for your stamp. So you've got what's on the front, and it comes like that. So these are sold separately to the stamp. All right, so I'm going back to, now this one's called It's a Good Day. I've written that one on the back because I don't have the thing. Now I'm going to use some Lindy's embossing powder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my embossing ink, and I'm going to ink up my stamp. Now, the embossing powder I've got, sorry, I realised I'm wonky on the screen, is I'm using Lindy's, and it is Boogie Down Black. This is probably, and I mean, you all know, if you don't know, I'm a designer for Lindy's. So I have everything Lindy's, but I have had other embossing powders in the past, and they're not as fine, and this is a fine one, and I like them really fine. So this is one of the blacks. There are a few blacks. So what you need if you're embossing and you're new to embossing is you need embossing ink, and embossing ink doesn't dry quick. So you can see there's a bit of a shine there, and I've been very generous, and this is the first time I've used this. So what I'm just going to do is stamp that on there. Now the embossing ink doesn't dry quickly, so you do have to move quick, but not super quick like normal. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to clean my stamp off first, because I want to protect my stamp, and it won't matter too bad if it dries on there, but it won't dry on there. It'll just be gooey for a bit. So I'm going to pop that to the side. Then I've got a blank piece of paper in the background to catch my excess, and I'm just going to tip my black embossing powder. Now, I used to hate using embossing powder because it's messy, but the more I used it, the more I loved it, and the effect that it gives is worth the mess. So I just give it a bit of a flick to get all those loose pieces off. And look at that. Now we have to set that. So I can see there's a little bit, it's a little bit light on down there. So I'm just going to add a bit more. How gorgeous is that? Do you know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of the Wizard of Oz with all those big flowers in that big field of flowers. Oh, maybe I could do them all different colours. My brain is racking, and I've frozen on myself again. Okay. The kids must be on the internet. Goodness me. Well, kid. One of them's in bed. Oh, I've caught up. So I'm just going to let myself go. Hello, Linda Pearson. How are you? You're back from dinner already. Goodness me. That was quick. So now what we need to do now, and there's a few specks there, is set that. And what you need to do with that is get an embossing heat gun. So I'm just going to start it over here. It's quite loud. And what I like to do is heat from the bottom. So I'm just warming my gun up, and I'm going to bring it up here, and I'm going to heat a little bit from the bottom. You have to be careful with your fingers because it is quite hot. And what that does, now I've done a little bit, but what that does is it kind of starts the process. And you'll be able to see, it's probably not visible on the screen, but you'll be able to see your crystals heat and become shiny and join together. And I'll bring it up to camera in a second because I can't even see myself. But I know that my phone will zoom into this, but it's so hot I can't hold the heat gun and heat set that at the same time. Okay, doesn't take too long to do that. And just hanging my gun back up, and I'm just going to reset myself, but let me bring that up so you can probably see the shine. So it is a little bit raised. So now that I've got that on there, that's not going to, like, nothing's going to cover that. I use black quite a bit. I also use, if this fails again, I'll have to get my iPad out. I can see your comments. I just can't see what I'm doing, which makes it difficult. I also use white a lot and gold and silver. And they've got chunky ones. I know Miss Linda Pearson uses the chunky ones a lot. She does a lot with backgrounds. And I like to use the thin ones. So now I've just found myself. All right. So next I'm going to decorate this with a bit of, oh, am I going to do that, or am I going to, sorry ladies, I can't do two things at once. Oh, I'm moving. Goodness me. Right, if I do apologize, if this does this again, I'm just going to bin it. No. Okay. Right, smart TV is not so smart, so I'm going to get my iPad back out. Sorry, girls. Once the iPad's out, it'll be fine. All right, just bear with me a second so I can find myself. And then I won't be interrupted again. Nothing worse than flying blind. All right, now. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now I can't even, it's like half the size. Oh, you went to the early bird session, Linda. I do that too. It's the senior session. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to colour this. Now, as I said before, this creates a resist. So nothing will go over the top of that, but it helps contain the colours. Oh, yeah, it is a Samsung Smart Monitor, Karen. All right, so I think I'm going to colour the back in the blue. So I'm going to use my Under the Sea and my Just Be Kind Cobalt. So if you haven't seen Magicals before, and apologies for those of you who regularly use them, I'm kind of telling you how to suck eggs here, but these are the new containers that the Magicals come in, and they are shakers. So what the difference is, what's inside them is not different, except for the colour. So this one is a shaker. So what I can do is I can shake from here. I can also take the lid off like this, and I can scoop into it. So, and I will do that. I'll just get my little thing. Now I've got my little palette here. I'm just going to put a little bit. You don't need much. So with Lindy's, you'll be making up the colour. The more pigment you use, the deeper your colour will be. So you must test them. If you don't care what shade you've got, and the powder, once it's activated, that's what you get. If you don't care what depth of colour you've got, then go for it. But if you're after a certain depth, then you want to test your colours. So let me grab a scrap and show you. So what we do to activate this is I've got a little jar of water with one of these little Dopplers. Nat sells these in packs of 10 for like something ridiculous in the sense, like cheap. So I'm just putting the water in there. Move that out of the way. Give it a little stir. Now, what I've got here, because I've got things from 2 different sets, is that my Just Be Kind Cobalt, which is from Nat's set, is a flat set. So what that means is it has no shimmer to it. Whereas this one, I don't know if you can see it. Let me bring it up to camera. I can see the shimmer and the mica sitting on top of the liquid there. All right, so I like to use a watercolor brush for these. And my favorite watercolor brushes are the Art by Marlene ones. Now, what I do like to do is just give my paper a little bit of a spritz. So I've just gone around the flowers, and I'm going to start with my thin color. Sorry, my lightest color. And I'm just going to touch it on. So because I've got liquid on there already, see how it starts to move. And this is what I love about Lindy's. Thank you, Tegan. Look at you going with my linking. So what I might do is get out a green as well and put a bit of green down the bottom. Now, so you can see here where I've got no liquid and where I've got liquid up there. Now, because this is watercolor paper, it will soak in nicely. And I might actually just pop a piece of paper towel under here because I'm just going to spray. Now, let me just grab a green. What green am I going to grab? Let's have a look here. Green's a bit of a strange one. They've got lots of teals, like every colour of teal. Hang on, what's this one? I will go with mint. That's another under the sea set too. All right. So again, now if I just wanted a little bit, I can just tap that in there. Don't need too much. And just activate that. So what I like to do when I create card fronts is do a heap at once. So if I was doing this off the screen, oh, look at that shimmer. If I was doing this off the screen, I probably would have done several of them so that I can create a whole heap of cards and then just emboss them all and then just play with my magicals. And because I'm using colours that are next to each other on the colour wheel, these guys will blend nicely, sometimes creating a new colour, sometimes just sitting next to each other, depending on what you're doing. All right, and then I'll put a bit of that up here. And then I'll bring that dark colour. I love the effect of just tapping your brush on there. It gives it lets the water do the magic, really. All right, so I'm just going to spray at the end here. I mean, don't need to add more, but I'm going to add that depth in that cobalt colour. I'm just going to add this one around the edges. This is one of my favourite blues, And you can see I've got a little pool happening up here, and we'll fix that in a minute. That's because of the spray. Now, whose OCD is going off because I've missed these bits in the middle? It's okay. I'll get it. So we've got a little bit there and a little bit in there. So you can see there that because of the embossing powder, it's kind of giving me a little outline that the liquid doesn't move too far from over. So it won't go over the edge. All right, now to dry that off a little bit and to pick up some of this liquid. So while it's sitting there, that liquid, that pigment is soaking into the paper, and different types of paper will react differently. So if you were doing this on plain cardstock, and you can, it will just warp a little bit more than what watercolor has. But if you haven't used embossing powder, you could just run it through a laminator and it flattens them out. I bought a laminator just for straightening out my card fronts, or scrapbooking paper as well. So I just use a little bit of paper towel just to pick up those pools of liquid, because the pigment is still going to be there. And that will just help assist with the drying time. Of course, if you're not filming like I am, you just pop it aside to dry naturally. That's the best way to do it. So I'm just going to use my heat gun just quickly so that mostly around those flowers is dry, and then I can come in with my flower colours. So which flower, who wants to decide which flower colour I'm going to go with? Am I going to go with my yellow, my pink, or yellow and pink, my red and orange, my purple and pink? Who wants to get first one to give me two colour combinations that will, in my warm colours? That's what I will go with. Who can type the quickest? It's always good to turn it over. Oh, Karen, look at you go. Pink and orange. I love pink and orange together, you know. Now, well, pink's up there. Okay. So just heating on the back helps to flatten it as well. So that's quite flat for something that's covered in liquid. And that's already dry. So, all right, I'm going to go with the orange, the pink. The orange and the pink. Now, what I've got here is, again, a flat and a magic and a shimmer, which is beautiful. I love those. So I'm just going to twist this around. Now, if you haven't used magicals before, these liquids, don't waste them. If you've got some crinkle ribbon from Nat, I think that's what it's called. It's a plain, she's called it crinkle ribbon before. Don't ask me what it's called on the website or if it's on the website, but she used to sell this crinkle ribbon. You can buy it by the meter. You could dunk that ribbon into these colours and colour your ribbon to match whatever you're doing. If you're doing a tag or whatever you're doing, it will, if you let it sit overnight, it will dry out as well. And what happens when it dries out, and I'll show you just... here's one I've prepared earlier. This has been sitting in my window for a couple of weeks, and as you can see there, that has shriveled up. So let me bring this up, and I'll just, you can reactivate them. Of course, if you want to change color, you'll need to clean it out. But look at this. I don't even know what color that one is, and this one looks pretty shriveled. Let's do that. So you just need to add a bit of water. Seam biting rhythm. Thank you, Julie. I knew one of you lovely ladies would know. Give it a stir. This one looks like it's one of those lovely deep teal ones. Oh, you know what? This is the Halloween set, I think, when I did my Lindy's project. So that's all you have to do. So you don't have to throw it away. If you've got a couple of these, they're not expensive. You could keep a couple going for your Lindy's, and I do that all the time. So now I have to do something else with Lindy's after I log off from you girls. All right, let's get the pink in. And we'll take the lid off. So I believe at the moment, this is the new... Are you kidding? You might use all of your liquid up, Karen. So these are the new jars, and I think Tracy from Lindy's, the owner of Lindy's, Lindy's daughter, is sticking with this one, and she's tried a few different types of jars. This one was the winner for a while, but the shaker ones, we did have another shaker set in a few years ago now, which was similar to this, and it had holes in the lid, but these are by far the best ones. Now, of course, with these old ones, if you decide you want them in a shaker, you can buy the shakers separately. I don't know if Nat's got them in stock at the moment, but you can definitely buy your empty shakers. Leftovers are good for creating ATC backgrounds. Of course they are, Linda. Every ATC I do has a Lindy's background. Most, actually, I don't say every. 90% of them. All right. I've said this 1,000 times, and I'll keep saying it. I am so mesmerised by Lindy's. And like just how the water makes the pigment react, and how you get a beautiful, when you do the sprinkle and spritz. Is there anyone that hasn't seen the sprinkle and spritz technique? Let me know, and I will do one, which is tipping it on and activating it straight on there. All right. So I'm not doing anything special here, but I'm working with stamps today, and I will do something with the background a little bit in a sec. So I'm going to start with an orange center, and I'm just going to go around there. Oh, I saw one thumbs up. Was that for you haven't seen a sprinkle and spritz? I'll do one. All right. You know nothing about it. Well, Carolyn, you're about to find out. It's one of my favourite techniques. And often, actually, here's a card front I prepared earlier. This was for the boys' football team coaches. And I just sprinkle and spritzed on the back of that. So there's a dry one with some stamping. But let's do one, because you know what? If someone says they haven't seen it, I would love to be the one to show you. All right, so this is containing into the flowers. This set is awesome. This stamp, it's has stamped nice and crisp. They change, what's that, Linda? They change the colour from what's in the container. Oh, I must have missed something. Oh, that is a great combination. And there's a lovely little sparkle there. And that pink's just bleeding nicely into the orange. So it's creating a nice little overlap there. And it just gives it, now, I know there's a little bit there that's probably should be blue, but I'm just going to go with it. So, of course, there's a few different Natalie May stamps. If you haven't got them, I know Nat had them made a while ago. So if you haven't got them, check them out on her website, because, and if you like something a little bit cheeky in your quotes, you might find something on there that's not to be shown on the screen, that can go with some cheeky cards. Buds of May. Yes, Buds of May is one of my favorites. If you look at my YouTube, my Instagram page, you will see that I've done a few Lindy's projects or any projects with the Buds of May. I have to agree, Tegan, it's one of my favorites as well. It is. It's an easy. Now I'm just going to go back in with my orange because that bit dried there, and I just want to blend that out a bit. And a bit there too. And really, how easy is that? It's great for beginners, but, you know, it's great for an easy card too. I really don't like buying cards in the shops anymore. So now let me dry that one off. Or do I? Now, you know what? I'll move it aside and I'll start on my next one. All right. Let me just pop that there. And let me just I'm going to get one of the bigger ones out this time. And I'm going to do something similar. But this one, the stamp is going to be the background rather than the foreground. So I'm going to use Just Be Kind. All right. Now, I need my big block. My big block. All right. That's better. Okay. Oh, thanks, Wendy. Look, magicals can make anything look lovely. Honestly, they're so versatile. All right, so I'm using the black still, and I'm using the Boogie Down Black, and I'm using the embossing. So let's go with this one. And so this one's the background rather than the foreground. All right, so a bit of embossing ink. It's nice and shiny on there. Now this will go outside of the card, but I'm just gonna... It doesn't need much pressure. I made sure my embossing, oh yes. I made sure my embossing pad was nicely juicy and freshly inked up. All right, moving that over there. Embossing powder. So you could do any of this in your art journals. And in fact, I think I have done something very similar to what I'm about to do in my art journal before. I've got a bit of some sort of silver glitter in my Boogie Down Black, but it's okay. This is a well-loved tub of embossing powder. And I've had it for at least, I'd have to say 2 years. All right, so again, we're going to set this. Let's take my gun up a bit. Going underneath to set those crystals just a little bit from the back. And the reason that happens is sometimes if you start your gun and it's not heated up on the front, some of those little speckles can fly away. So to keep them there, that's why I heat them from the back. All right. Can't find my hook. There it is, underneath my table. All right. I'm happy with that. Okay, so now I'm actually going to run out of little spots here to put my stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you another way if I'm only using a little bit of a colour that I use for Lindy's. So I'm sure everyone's got some sort of messy mat. This Lavinia one that I have is great. It's, it sticks to my glass mat that's underneath, but B, it doesn't show the reflection when I'm live. So this yellow, all I'm going to do, would we heat from the back when we used a toaster as a heat source? We would heat from the back when you use a toaster. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. All right, so I often do this on either my glass mat or just my messy mat if I'm using a small amount. So I just tip a small amount of particles on there. It's so small that I don't even know if you can see it. And then I just get my wet brush and just swirl it around just to make a little puddle. All right, so what I'm going to do, now how many colours have I got? I've got orange, I need to do red, pink, yellow, purple, and I'll just go with one blue. I'll go with, oh no, I'll go two. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I'm going to drop one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'll drop just be kind. Did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so 2 of each colour. That's what I'm going with. Julie, I can't even imagine that. That's so funny. All right, so all I'm doing here, and I'm not looking for anything perfect. Oh, that just has to be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that one. Don't mind me. I'm turning my page so that, and I'm just giving it a little squiggle. So I didn't need much in the colour. So why create a whole heap? Hey, Mel. I just, I'm not going to get that that image out of my head, like putting on top of the toaster, but it makes sense. I mean, hey, I used to iron my hair, so, you know, before they had straighteners. With the toaster, you too, Karen, my goodness. So I'm creating a little bit of a rainbow wheel here as my background. And I'm not going to the edges. I don't want to go all the way to the edges. Hi, Gay. Welcome. Welcome to the fun house. All right, now another way you can do it with these little pots, if you're just using a small amount, is wet brush, not dripping, like it's not dripping, but it's wet. Just popping the tip in there, a little bit more. And then making a little puddle here. Mel, that's hilarious. You girls crack me up. Okay, just a couple of drips. Blow torches were a bit risky. Yeah. All right, so I'm just turning this to work with me. I'm starting off quite small. So this is the red. This is probably one of the most vibrant reds that there is. And of course, our Natalie has created that. And just use it up. I was going to do some splatters, but I won't. So we've got red, orange, we've got pink made up. All right, who's getting into their Christmas crafts already, girls? I have to say, I have started. If you don't know this about me, and some of you probably don't, I'm a Christmas crazy. My tree goes up, look, I'll be honest, it's been up in October one year. My husband knows not to fight me on it. So I think that was COVID year. I said, stuff it. We've been in lockdown for so long, we're putting the tree up. I don't send cards. I make my own tags. I make cards for people I'm going to see on Christmas Day. Now, I need some purple. So, again, I'm just going to pop a little bit on my mat. Purple's quite bright. I make cards for people I'm going to see on Christmas Day, or if I want to put a gift card in one. But I make my own tags. Look, I'm going to hold off till November this year, Wendy. I also do the Elf on the Shelf, and I've done it for, oh God, Thomas is 14, and I started when he was 4. His 4th year. I've got it in America, and then it became crazy in Australia, so I was already onto it. So I have, I do all my own tags. I also use my Thermomix to create some, and I'm just going to use that teal, to create some hand-cooked gifts. So I create tags for those. That purple wasn't as bright as I thought. And I'm also doing my own calendar, DIY calendar from Funky Fossil. So if you haven't got one of those, get onto that. And I've done my Christmas page in that. And I've used the new Kate Crane Christmas stamps. They were the ones I had my eye on the most. All right. So, like, how easy was that? I stopped putting up a tree when my second border collie, because she thinks the bulbs are balls for her. You never use your Thermi, Karen. Oh my God, I use my Thermi almost every day. All right, there's a background. Oh no. Sorry, Tegan. I totally forgot about that. Okay. So that looks so cool. Yes, I do love my Thermomix. All right, so let's go. This one's still wet. All right, so let's go to another one. Now, I'm going to move my magicals aside for a minute because I want to use the glaze now. And I've got a lovely stencil. So I'm moving back to stencils. Over here, I've got a Dina Wakley stencil that I think it's called Tiles, Tile something. And what I'm going to do is put that here. So this glaze that we've got here can be used in a few different ways, and I will use it on top of the Lindy's. Oh, thank goodness. Now, what I'm going to do is stencil this on. I've got a stencil brush here, and I'm just going to dab my brush in, and I'm going to smoosh it together. I'm sure you've all heard Vicky say smush. So when we do this, not only are we going to get a beautiful pearl look through that, but it's going to give a little bit of a edge, like we've swiped something to the side. It's going to be a little bit raised, so it gives a bit of texture. And it gives us a beautiful pearl shine. It's like I've been playing with it, and I've got one that might be dry in a second that I'll show you. I didn't need to use watercolour for this one, but you can. And what I am going to do, and I might have to get another piece of cardstock out, just so I can see, we've got all this glaze on here. Wondering if I spritz it with water. Oh, now I've got a hair in there. That can stay in there. Tiled floor. Thank you, Tegan. Now, this is super easy to clean. You just give it a spritz and then dry it off. I'm just going to plonk it in water because I'm not going to use that again. But what I am going to do is find myself a spare piece of paper in amongst all these pieces of paper that I've got lying around. And let's see. So this is a bit of experimental for me now. Okay, here's a piece of paper. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this off. So I'm hoping you can see this would be a really good, like a wintry, it kind of looks like a wintry Christmas. It's very pretty. Like, that's a great card background. So that shimmer you can see isn't my light, it's actually the thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to spritz this with some water. And I'm going to do it off screen, because I don't want to get water all over my mat. So I'm giving it a good soaking. And let's see if it moves, because the other glaze that Vicky had, and I've just flicked that over, grab my paper towel. The gold glaze that Vicky had was definitely water reactive. And I'm just going to wipe that up. And then what I could do, oh, here we go. Look, I'm getting a little bit creative here. Yeah, it is a little bit like a paste. Oh, it's on sale, is it? Oh, there you go. How funny. I didn't know that it was on sale. It's like a paste. It's like a paste, but you can also make it into, so we could brush it on, and I will do that in a second. Because I should have cut this piece off. I've got one that I've done before. You can use it like a texture paste through a stencil. You can make it into a liquid and splatter it, which is what I did with the gold a lot. Before I lift this up, okay, it has worked. What I might do is put a bit of colour through that. So I have got blue underneath. So maybe I'll just do a bit of a sprinkle and spritz and join my two products. So here we go. Was it Caroline that said she hadn't seen it? So this is sprinkle and spritz through a stencil. So I'm just going to tap. Hopefully that lid doesn't fall off because I had it off before. So, and this is normal cardstock. This isn't coloured cardstock. So I'm going to put a bit of pink up the top. And then I'll put a bit of yellow. I'll put a bit of yellow down the bottom and we'll get a bit of an orange in the middle. So this is the sprinkle part of sprinkle and spritz. Oh, good. I'm glad I got it right. That's good, Diane. I'm glad I'm picking up. My brain's just going overtime at the moment, so I'm just pulling things out. So I'm going to, this is just a water bottle, and I'm just going to spritz. This is the part I love. I probably should have filled my water bottle up first. That's enough. And then we're going to let that sit for a second. I'm going to find another piece of paper, cardstock, to dump that over the top of that. Let's see if I've got any that I didn't cut properly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, I'll just grab a piece of my scraps, and I'm going to get so this is the third thing I've got out of this, right? and I'll use this for ATCs or something. So what this is doing, it's picking up all the excess off the stencil. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? And there's a shimmer. So that's one piece. I'm running out of spots to put things. So now I'll lift this off. And my glaze didn't quite work. It started up there, so I mustn't have had much on there. But I like it, but I didn't have enough glaze on there. So I will just quickly wipe that clean, pop that aside. That won't go to waste. But you can see where the stencil was. And this is the back when you use normal cardstock. Okay, so, all right, let me just clean up. And one more thing I want to do with the glaze. And let's see if it works. I did a mini version of it. We'll see how it comes up. So that glaze is dry already on my mat here. So it doesn't take a lot, although my heater's just kicked in. Yes, I live in Canberra. We still have our heater on. It kicks in. I've got little boys that are, well, a little boy that's prone to croup, so I can't turn it off when it still gets cold in the morning. I love this stencil. And that glaze comes like it's all over there, but that's coming off really easily. So it's not like texture paste where, well, it doesn't appear to be like texture paste where it's going to stick to things. So that's good. All right. I'm a stencil cleaner. If you didn't know, I couldn't leave that. And I'm not near a sink. So, oh, I do it all the time, Julie. I sprinkle and spritz all the time. All right, so now I've got nowhere to put my stencil. All right, bringing back, so this is one I did earlier, and that's nice and dry. So that's actually got little raised bits around the edge, but it's quite nice. I love it. 26 today. Oh, my goodness. All right, last one I want to show you. And again, we're using this, so we'll have to get that hair out. And I'm going back to my stamping. It's almost like a horsehair, that big. There it is. There it is. Big horsehair. Okay. So I'm going to get this stamp back. What's it called? It's a Good Day. And I will start to finish off some of these soon. They're not hard. I just want to show you a few different ones. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a good chunk of this and I'm just going to swipe it on. Now, again, I'm using watercolor paper here, but I certainly don't need to. And I'm doing it quite thick. So this will take a while to dry, but I did do one earlier. And I'm just trying to get, and I've done this with the gold as well. So if you see these things on special, and great that this is on special for you girls, and you're not sure what to do and you buy it for one particular thing, make sure you play with it. Play with it and see what it does. Play with your products and swap, like do different things with, and mix your products. Like you don't have to just use Lindy's with Lindy's. You don't have to just use Vicky Bouton with Vicky Bouton. All right. I'll use this as a splatter as well. It was lovely in Melbourne today too. Oh, it was lovely in Canberra too. Don't get me wrong, but it does still drop down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp into this and get the impression of my stamp through my paste. So it's actually going to create, and I'm only pressing lightly and it is going to stick. So I'm going to put my finger there. And that's pretty good. I like that. Didn't put quite enough there, but that's a background. Now, I will not leave that on my stamp, but it does rub off quite easy. So it is water reactive, which is why you can make a splatter and a glaze out of it. Oh, yep. That's a great idea, Julie. I do that too. These are a little... the texture paste can be harsh on your products. I don't use my texture paste a lot. I just hate the cleanup, and I especially don't use them on live. Only 20 in Queensland. Goodness, we had 21 here. So I'll put this aside, and I did one earlier, a mini version, just to test, and I'll see if it's dry. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, so that's dried quite nicely. So that is a nice little background there, and you could colour or put a bit of extra colour over the top. So an indented stamp into your texture paste. So I will put that one aside. I'll play with that later. It's not going to dry. That one has been sitting there for an hour. So that one's not going to dry. All right, let's finish off these, because I'm sure you girls have had enough of me jabbering on. Good thing I can talk under, what does Mum say? I can talk under wet cement with a mouthful of marbles. All right, let's bring this one back. Okay. So that one's still a little bit wet. I'm just going to hit it with a heat gun because it's only a smidgen wet. Just a smidgen. And I'm just going to create something a little in the background. And then I will put it onto a card front. Now, what I need to do is grab my paper towel and pick up that pool, because the pigment's already in my paper. And as a matter of fact, I might just do that. All right. Never get enough of me. You are too sweet, Tina. Right, so as I'm drying the back... Oh, thanks, Julie. And Wendy as well. You girls are too lovely. See what a lovely community we have. Oh, the shimmer in that purple, pink is gorgeous. So I want to do a little bit of something in the background there. And what I'm going to use is that glaze. That's right. I'm going to use the glaze. So I don't... no. Sorry. First of all, I'm going to use... So these are some All and Create rub-ons. And I really liked the numbers section of it. So I'm going to... Or the words. So I'm going to try and just get a little bit on there. And it's dry, so I should be able to. And I'm going to get my... this thingy. I don't want the gears on this one. Oh, do I? No, the gears don't really suit. But I just wanted some of the wording. And this is the great thing about rub-ons, is that you can use little bits of them. So I'm just going to... grab some of those numbers. Oh, yeah, like that. And over here, I'm just going to grab some of those letters. I'm sure Tegan knows what this is called. So this is an All and Create rub-on. It is, I do like the gears. I'm not going to do it. I just want a little something. And I think I'm going to go up here. Now you must make sure that your paper's dry, because as soon as you pop that on there, yeah, just a little something. So they come in a pack of 2, I believe. But that's just adding a little something to it. Now I'm going to add some stamping, and I'm going to get my new stamp set. Now I won this one from Marlene for my advent calendar. I don't know if there's any advent calendars left in stock. I haven't checked lately, but I know they were down. Oh, the gears are lovely. They just don't go with these flowers. But yes, with the Art by Marlene calendar, Marlene puts up a monthly challenge for you to use the stencil of a certain day 1 or day 2 of your advent calendar stencil if you haven't seen it. And I didn't enter all of mine because I didn't like them all, but I entered a few, and this is what I won. I won 2 stamp sets. So I was pretty stoked with that. And these are like a really good mark making stamp set. So I know Nat has this one. I've already hooked into some favorites. This one. I'm looking for something fine. So I think I might actually grab that one. And I might grab these love hearts as well. Now I'm going to do a bit of colour stamping. So I'm just adding a little bit of detail to my, to finish it off. And I'm going to grab my mini archival inks. So I'm going to do a bit of tone on tone stamping here with these love hearts. Those love hearts are going to be well used, let me tell you. And I'm going to use this Calypso Teal. There's 2 advent calendars left, yes. So girls, like, it's not hard. Like, there's like, of all the people, I think there was only a small number of people that are entering this thing that Marlene said. And I didn't pay for shipping or anything, which can be an issue when you enter competitions for overseas. Oh, yeah, I love that. That stamp is definitely going to be well used. Yeah, and you just have to put up your photo. And honestly, I don't know how she picks them, but I put in other ones that I thought were better and I didn't win. And this one was, sorry, my better ones, not the better one. I didn't really pay attention to others. Yeah, so you never know. Got to be in it to win it. And if you're using your advent calendar, Marlene creates a challenge for you to use it in a certain way. It's good to use it. Like, it's good to use it and join in. All right, so I'm nearly done with this one. I'm going to use this bit. I love this one. And I would just use it like that, but it's too small. Oh, thanks, girls. So I'm just going to... You use the circles a fair bit, yeah. So I'm just going to do a bit of a light... Oh, yeah. Okay, that's going to be well used. And a little bit up here. And a little bit down there. And up there. Love it. All right, now our sentiments and finishing off the edging. So popping that aside. So another thing, if you haven't seen the advent calendar comes in a box. Now, I'll pull this out a little bit. Don't mind all the crap on top of it. I've stored a few things shoved on there. But this is the advent calendar box from last year. And now I store these in it. So it's a great little storage box to have on your desk if you've got the space. Now I stuffed up. All right, now I moved everything. All right, so to finish this one off, what I like to do is give it a bit of an edging. I have one brush that I use for my black archival ink, and it's peeling a little bit, so I have to be careful with it. But if I don't edge it with black archival ink, I draw a border. It just puts it all together, finishes it off, takes away that harsh white line, and it gives it an edge when we back it onto a white card. You could back it onto any colour cardstock, and in fact, I've got so much cardstock I should start doing it with different colours. Now, sentiments. Here we are, from that pack. I'm going to do Friends Make Everything Better. I really love that one. And I need my block. And a piece of cardstock. I keep all my scrap cardstock in a little drawer next to my desk, just so you never know when you need just a little piece for something. All right. Look at that crisp impression that makes. And of course, Nat's right. I'm sure that's Nat's writing. If it's not, it bloody looks like it. All right, so to finish this off, and I still have to do my glaze. And yes, these are my sewing scissors, and they've never got used for sewing because that's one crafty talent I don't have. They do indeed. All right. Again, tying that together by continuing with the same thing. Some raised foam tape and some scissors that aren't my good ones. Oh, here we go. These ones are nearly falling apart. So these were my scissors when Kazaz was around. You know, that company that's no longer anymore. Like they're falling apart. Anyway, my cousin house sat once. And I came home to find my scissors out the back in a pot plant. And if you know, you know, but half of it was, and I'll be careful what I say here, half my hose was missing as well, cut off. Not half, but a portion of my hose was missing. So I nearly had a heart attack, not at the hose, but at my scissors. All right. Oh. Now, where am I going to put that? I think I'm going to put it down here. I love that. How good is that? You use the glazes and paste for edging everything. Oh, that's a good idea. And you just reminded me. My God, my memories, I'm like a goldfish at the moment. So I'm going to get a small brush and I am going to cover that. But I'm just going to put a small amount of that glaze here. So, yeah, you can guess what he was doing with it, right? Little to say here, didn't house it again. All right, so if you know, you know. So I'm making this quite watery, and it's quite, well, it's mesmerizing because it's now more pearly. So what you'll find is when you splatter this, oh, that's gorgeous. When you splatter this, it won't be as, well, maybe I will go into those. Yep, I'm going down a little bit. Look out, I'm getting adventurous. It will, I've lost my word. Yes, naughty boy. So it will not dry with a bump, but what you can do, because it's a glaze, the pigment again will sit down there, and I'm just going to pick up one, otherwise I'll let it. So if I just put the end of that on there, it just picks up the liquid and it leaves that on there. So it's just something extra that will dry nicely. Now, to make that into a card front, so what I've done here is I've just got some cardstock that's been lying around, and I've cut a 12, it was a 12 by 12. I've cut it into 4 inches. Yes. So all I do, and I know someone asked this of Nat the other day when, a few weeks ago now when she was doing a live, how do you make that into a card front? Well, what a great question, because if you don't know, then if you're not a card maker and you don't make your cards, then how would you know that? So I'm just folding this in half. I'm getting my bone scorer. Or another good thing to use these for is, if you don't have a bone scorer, the perfect tool, let me find one that's not dripping wet, is the back of your Art by Marlene brushes. So they are the perfect bone scorer as well. So don't go out and buy a bone scorer. If you've got these brushes, buy the brushes and you get 2 in 1. And then all we would do, now I'm not going to be able to do this because I've just put liquid on there, but all I would do is put double-sided tape on there and then stick that right there. And there's your card. So that's one. I actually love that. Great choice, Karen, with the colours to match that background. Those flowers really stick out. And if I wanted to, I could just do a little bit of Stabilo in the edges there just to darken up and give them a bit of a shadow. So I might do that later. Let's finish off the other one. Or the other two. This one, I'm going to edge. What do I do with my edger? Oh, it's right here. All right, this one is gorgeous. So this would be really easy. Now, oh, thank you. Now, I don't know if we've got any of the Art by Marlene luxury items left in stock, Tegan. I think they were on the website when I had a look the other day. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do a little bit of stamping. And I'm going to use this little star here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this. I'm going to do some tone on tone. Oh, thanks, girls. All right, so all I'm going to do is a little bit of stamping on the end there. If I wanted to get adventurous, I could tape those off and just do, oh, look. The other way I could do it is this. I'll just wipe the ink off those two. And do another one. Yep, that worked. I'm not doing that again. Nice and easy. Bit of tone on tone, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're doing there. I might, there's another little one in that stamp set. This little starburst, just to change it up a little bit. That little starburst with the oranges. Are the little, Tegan, can you see if the little luxury people are in stock still? From Art by Marlene as well. I'm about to grab one out. I don't know if she's got the animals or the people, and you know, mine are probably combined. That one's a good one to use for this because it's little. I'll then go back to the stars. We'll do some red, and I don't know if you can see it. Oh yeah, you can. Oh, night, Michelle. Thank you. I have been going for a while, haven't I? I told you I could talk under wet cement with a mouthful of marbles. I'm nearly done anyway. Just finishing off some final touches. Oh, can't really see that red a lot. Oh, yeah, maybe a little. We'll just take it over the end. And over the end there. I'm not worrying too much about the middle because I'm going to put something in the middle there. Back to this one. We'll go with a pink. Bubblegum pink. I love, love, love these little inks. I don't need the big inks. I've got a few of the distress ones, but these archival little inks are perfect for my need because this is what I use them for. I use them for adding coloured stamping on top of coloured ink on top of paint. All right, purple. Oh, that's juicy. I clearly haven't used that one much before. All right, we're just finishing off. That purple is super juicy. Party animals, are they available? I think they're all luxury something, but the women as well. I was just going to use one of them. And then I'll go with the turquoise. So these ones that I'm using in this container, so these containers are, of course, available on the website, but I was thinking when I first got them, how the hell am I supposed to store these little stamps? And then actually, I think it was Susan told me about these, and Nat got some more in. And let me tell you, I love them. The ink pads, sorry, not the stamps. So these ones here are all the Dilutions ones. Party animals, perfect. Now, let me get a party animal. So let me add this one before I finish it off and splatter something, because you know I'm going to splatter something. So this was one of the bigger ones, okay? So I'm only going to have a small border around the edge. So all I do is get my double-sided tape. Chuck a bit down there. Chuck a bit down there. I like to do along the edge, just so that it sticks down properly on a card. You don't want it to, you know, be open up at the end. And because we've put liquid on these, they can be a little bit warped. You are on the money with the ninja linking today, Tegan. Thank you. Since at least technology is working for one of us today. All right, so this is the one that was 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. So just short, gives us a tiny little, and obviously I didn't cut the card right because I've got more of an edge at the edge. That is a great card on its own. Let me grab my luxury people, or animals. Just chat amongst yourselves. I've got them somewhere in a special place that I cannot find. Spur of the moment decision here, girls. Oh, here they are. All right. So, oh, that's okay, Annette. You can have a life, my friend. That's fine. So these are so cute. Like, I actually really love that mouse. But so with these little animals that you get 2. The cow could go well. You get 2, heaps and heaps of them. I love that cow, actually. My sister just had a birthday. I can't give it to her. So you get 2 different sizes. I love that one, actually. Actually, I love that. All right. So you get 2 different sizes. Let me show you. So here's the rabbit. Here's the cow. Look, here's the cow. So they're quirky animals, party animals. So you get two different sizes. So you could use the small one or the big one. And they're all like, they're so cute. There's monkeys and elephants and hippos and llamas and, you know, pigs might fly. I wish someone did a stamp that said pigs might fly. Finishing this one off, I'm not going to use glue. The sheep and the cow. Yes, I do too. They're quite cute. Now, I'm going to use that, but I need a sentiment as well. You are my rainbow on a cloudy day. Life is better with you. You make me smile. It's a good day to be happy. I might go with you make me smile, because that could be birthday or anything really. Let me get my cardstock back out. And I'm going to do this one in black as well. Black just is tying all of that together. I've lost my block. Thank God I'm not working tomorrow, because you should see my desk. It's a pigsty and I normally work here. So thankfully I have the day off. And that's crooked, but that's okay. I'll just cut it straight. Or I'll keep it crooked. Whatever works. Big scissors. Yes. Tegan and I did get a request in. We asked for the Halloween things. I think Nat is very busy at the moment preparing for lots of things that are coming up. So we will try and get some quirky sentiments. Like when pigs fly. The animal ones would be good, actually. But yes, so these are quite good quality cardstock. And they're great for, I mean, you all see Tammy use them in her journals, but honestly, I think they're great for cards. And this is probably the 5th card I've made with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually lift this one up as well and lift that one up so that they become the foreground. But great idea, Tina. I will put it on my list of things to ask Nat. My list is long. Yes, getting each other on the phone between my work and her work is not always an easy task. But yeah, I will get there and get to her now. I've cut that too thick. Whoop. So this is, I'm using the Altenew foam tape, but I believe it's no longer in stock. But I also use the Express It. So Express It is my go-to, normally my go-to. I got this one when I was on retreat because I was using quite a bit of foam tape, and I've probably been a bit too over the top, but I don't want his little ears to flop down, so I want him to sit up. Plenty of fish in the sea. Yes. Oh my God. We just need a dad jokes one. If you haven't seen Nat's snarky sentiments or the birthday sentiments one, they're hilarious. There's things like how many candles are we telling people you're blowing out this year? Yeah, I can't remember a few of them. I have used a couple on one on my mother-in-law, which she thought was hilarious. couple of my brother-in-law. He's copped a couple of them. People who I know will take it well. But they're pretty they're age ones. Can't have a sense of humour these days. What can you have, hey? All right. I love that. And I want to put that, it gets a little lost down there. Didn't think that through, did I? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get this turquoise out. Yeah, the birthday everyday sentiments, that's one. I'm just going to add it was getting lost, the white. So I've just made it not white. So now I'm happy. That's better. So there's another one. I absolutely love that one. That's my favourite. Although I do like the other one too, but it's the giraffe. I love the giraffes. How long have I been going? What time did I start? 8. Oh, I have been going for a bit. This one is now dry. I will pop something on front of that, probably another one of these flowers, and pop that one up as well. But I might call it a night, ladies. Thank you for watching me. Thank you for engaging with me. It's always good to have people engaging when you're sitting here kind of talking to yourself. So thank you. And yeah, make sure you get onto nataliemay.com.au to check out the products that I've used tonight. And if you weren't sure what they were, I think Tegan has linked most of them, but please ask. And enjoy. If you're having a long weekend this weekend, enjoy your long weekend. And I will see you soon. Bye, guys.